Hello folks, Reloading Bench back with you once again, and I thought I'd make this one in response to what's happening in the news lately. So you've seen the red curb appeal video, but this one is more focused on the fire hydrant. The fire hydrant that I've hated for years in our front lawn, that is, along with the mailbox, our water, and our front steps. But hated this for a number of years until an incident that happened a few years back, and it changed my whole perspective on having the fire hydrant in the front lawn. And that's also a trigger for what's happening in Southern California. So I have a few items to cover. This is the first one. This, while I switch hands, is a fireman's wrench. And what this wrench does is it locks on to the different sides of the hydrant. So this side is where the hose connects, and this would unscrew. That would drop, and you would attach your hose here. Then you would flip over to this side, adjust the wrench, and then you would twist to turn on the water, which I won't do at this time. So this has a 2-inch and a 4-inch hose, and you'll see newer ones that have I think it's even 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches, but this is has 2 water areas and 2 areas to hook up the hose. Larger hose for the fire department and smaller 2-inch diameter hose. So let me show you what I couple this with. So for many years I dreaded the fact, I hated the fact, I disliked the fact, maybe hate's too strong a word, that we had a fire hydrant in our front lawn. How do you disguise that? Well, you kind of don't, because the city doesn't like it when you do things like paint it, and they paint it right back. So we just dealt with it. It was a fact of life until I can't remember how many years ago, maybe 3, 4, I don't know if it was before COVID, after COVID. But we had a development. In fact, I was talking with a buddy where his comment about this incident, we had a development that was evacuated about mile and a half from us because of fire and the threat to the homes. And my buddy was saying, oh, you never have to worry. There's no way that, your area would burn down. And then the fire a few years ago, Paradise Valley, I think it was. Maybe I'm misquoting the location, where it was just devastated. And you're like, how could that happen in a residential area like that with all the fire departments, all the fire hydrants, all the whatever? And what's happening right now in Southern California around the Palisades area is the main reason for this. Because I can't tell you how many times when they show events like this, there's always that guy, that one guy that's got a garden hose, who's not going to leave, he's not going to evacuate, and he's on his roof or he's watering his property down, and he's the last man standing. So yeah, I'm that guy. So I'm too old. You saw the gridlock in the Palisades area, where the bulldozers were just pushing cars, destroying cars that people, because of the gridlock, just got up and got out. Limited ways in, limited ways out. A bug out situation, when everyone wants to bug out, the roads are going to be completely gridlocked and congested. So I'll be the guy standing in front of my home, too old and too out of shape to be on my roof. But I will be using that fire hydrant and opening that up, and hopefully it won't be like Southern California where there won't be any water pressure. I picked this up on eBay. This is an Elkhart, I believe that was the name. Yes, Elkhart Selectomatic. So, on, off rather, on, and then this dials in. It's just like a garden hose. Only this is a 2-inch in diameter feed of water, and this is not my full kit. This is just the stuff I'm pulled off a shelf very quickly, because somebody will say, what about fire protection and other things? And that base is covered as well. But this is what I would be doing. I would be grabbing this, opening that fire hydrant up, and hooking this up to these. And we have these sitting on the shelves, and that is legit fire hose, rawhide fire hose. And I chose red, and the other end, this is the end that couples to the fire hydrant, and the other end that's right here couples to this, and this has all been tested, so there will be no surprises. And for those who are asking, what are some of these extra things, and this is how they tighten them. Same thing with this. Just a method for being able to tighten to get a great seal. But yeah, this sits on a shelf because when we had that incident a few years ago where neighbors were evacuating, I told myself, yeah, that's not going to happen to us. We are not going to run from maybe that's a stupid perspective, but it's my perspective. And I've been called stupid before, so, if the shoe fits, you got to wear it. But my point being, I'm going to do everything I can to save my property. And, if I save the neighbor's house, great. But my focus is going to be keeping everything off my house. And I have, front and backyard covered. So, yeah, this would be my my defense mechanism for what's happening, an incident like what's happening in Palisades. And I'm not saying that somebody with one of these would have saved their house in Palisades, but I believe they did show people, doing the garden hose thing. They showed people still in their house to the very last minute because nobody wants to abandon. I think they've shown looters because as soon as you leave your house, all your possessions are there. And if your house is not damaged or burned down, then your possessions are at stake for the looters, and we all know that's going to happen. And then it takes years and years and years to rebuild. I think in the previous fire a few years ago, if it was, I don't remember if it was Paradise Valley. I cannot remember the name of the town, and I don't believe it recovered. And when you look at the devastation, all this is going to do is drive the few insurance companies that are still in this state out of this state, or the rates are just going to go to the unobtainiumly unaffordable level. And they're already there. It's just going to get more obscene. But this is my way of dealing with the garden hose scenario. Garden hose isn't going to do squat against a fire. Maybe this won't either, but this is a little bit of a fighting chance to prevent something from growing into something more deadly, more dangerous. So I haven't touched this stuff in years. Again, it sits on a shelf in a corner, and it's ready to grab in case something bad were to happen. And I just hope, the last time I tested it, we had water pressure. I hope we still have that water pressure because maybe our mayor isn't doing the same thing that Mayor Bass is doing by cutting the fire department budget and worrying about a fish and keeping the reservoirs lower to not endanger a fish and put human lives at risk. It's amazing what our politicians will do for those votes, and I just find that so unacceptable. But I'm sure more of that will come to light once the fires, and that's going to be a while, are under control and put out. But this would be my guy with a hose scenario, standing in front of his house trying to save it. That's all for now.